Hello friends, welcome to a new session of web application design using Flask. Last session we have seen the URL binding concept. Now today we are going to see the concept of HTTP request and the communication of an HTML page with the Flask. Basically there are two technologies or two concepts that we use in dynamic web communication. First is the client and second is server. Client send the request, which is the front end for your program where the client will access, and back end, which is the server side end, will be controlled by your web application. So the Flask program will run as a server on the server side programming, and the client will have the HTML page. HTML page will get the data, will send that data to the server side using Flask, will process that data, and according to the response will be sent back. This is what we can control with the help of a request and response kind of communication there. So basically what exactly this HTTP method does. Okay, so let's see it, how exactly we can do it. HTTP protocol is a foundation of data communication in the World Wide Web. With the help of that, we can receive the data from the client and send it to the server. Server can send request back, response back to the client also. There are different methods of data retrieval from specific URL are defined in this protocol. These are shown over here. You can check it out. Get, send the data in unencrypted form to the server, and very commonly used method to send the data from the HTML page to the server side programming. And post is also one of the method which is used there. Okay, head is also, but it does not contain the response, it only send the request. Post content used in the HTML form of data to server. Data received by the post method is not cached by the server. It is secured method actually. Cached means the data is not temporarily stored, but get can store it. Unencrypted, so if you want to send data high speed, so get will be used, and if you want to send the data using encrypted format but somewhat low speed, we will be making use of the post method there. Similar to that, put is also present, which replaces all the current representation of the target resource with the uploaded content. Okay, that is replacement is done by using put method. If it is already present, so you can replace it, and delete is used to remove all the current representation of the target resource given by a URL. So let's see this. We'll be making use of a communication between the client and the server. So on client side, I'll be having HTTP page, HTML page. On a server side, I'll be having the Flask application running continuously. So we'll take the data from HTTP, HTML, and we'll send it to the Flask application design. So my idea is very simple. I'll be creating one simple page, a simple HTML page over here. In that HTML page, a simple form is created, and inside the form I'll be having only one text area, text box, in which user will enter the data. Okay, that will be stored in variable nm here, and submit button is also there, which will contain the value submit present onto it. As soon as I click it, this request will go to the specific URL. Okay, by using this login, this URL will go by using the post method. I'm sending it. Post is encrypted method by which the data is not cached by the server, it is deleted, not stored on the server side. So let's see how to do this one. So I just have to create the HTML page first. So let's create a new file. Here I'll create an HTML page like login.html. Okay, so this page I am creating here, this is the HTML page, and let's see how to create it. Okay, so this is common HTML. It's required that you need to understand the HTML page clearly. Remember, HTML knowledge should be there. Okay, so form action. So form action means when I click on the submit button, where you have to redirect the request. Okay, and that is HTTP localhost. Okay, localhost colon 5000, and your URL that will be using in the Flask application. Fine, that is my URL, and after that I need to specify by which method you have to pass it. So I can make use of the post method, for example. Finished. Okay, form is completed here. That's it. Okay, so on this URL the request will go when I click on the submit button. So first of all I need to enter the name from user here. Okay, enter the name, and that name I'll take into the input control. Input type is equal to, okay, so we'll have a text type over there, text, okay, and what variable name you have to pass, so that may be uname. Fine, uname I'll be passing. Let's have a break there, new line, and after that one more input type I'll specify, that is your submit button is equal to submit, okay, and its name will be okay, not name, actually we'll have a value here, value is equal to okay. Fine. So simple HTML page, we have a login page which will contain the username which user will enter, and that submit button will contain the name okay. When I click on that, then this request will be forwarded to the localhost 5000:5000/login, this page. So this page you have to deploy on the Flask server, which will take the uname into it and will perform some operations onto it. Okay, so it will perform some operations onto it. So before that, let's run this particular code of HTML here, and then we'll get an idea. Okay, yes, I'm using Chrome here. Okay, fine. So let's go to open the file and run that on your web browser. So file is present here, login.html. I'll open that by using my web browser. See, simple, yeah. You just create your own idea of HTML. You design. We are not going to learn that design here. You have to design the HTML page by your own. We'll be focusing only on the controls. So for example, I'll have this to sharp. Okay, it will forward the request to login. So currently login is not deployed. That's why we are giving this error, that file is not found, unable to connect, like that. So this is HTML page. We just have any kind of design of coloring and images there. That's the secondary part. When you're designing a project using Flask, that time we require that particular designs there. Fine. Now let's go for the Python script. So Python program is a login code which will perform the operations. Okay. Now let's see how to do this particular part and perform the operations with this. Okay. So let's go to write the Python program now. Okay, create a new file. Login is already created. Let's have login.py file, which I am creating here. So from Flask import, okay, and we require redirect also, and we require the URL for also. Fine. Create the object. Okay. So let's create a routing method for login first. Okay, so what URL we have mentioned there? It was login. So when I have the login URL, then I'll be calling the login function. Okay, yeah. So login function will be called, and inside it, let's check it. Now remember what happens when you forward the request. So when this request is forwarded, there is a default object created called as a request object, and inside the request object, all the information which is passed from the client to server will be saved. All the information. Okay, we'll be focusing on two parts. Which method you follow, that is also saved, and it contains a form, a dictionary called as form. Inside that, all the values that you pass will be saved. So here when you have to receive the request, so we need to mention the methods also. Which methods we need to make use of, that you have to specify here. So we are making post and get methods application. Okay, that I am specifying there. Fine. Now if, as I told, request object is present, so request dot method. Okay, if request dot method is equal to post, okay, if the method which is used in request is equal to post, then we'll extract the information from the user. Okay, we'll extract the information from the user and forward it to the respective operations there. How to? So let's see this. So I will forward it by using user is equal to request, or we'll have a name here, uname, request dot form. Okay, so form is a dictionary created which will contain the values passed from the server client, sorry, to the server. So return that, create an URL for this, URL for. So let's create one more function which will be called, by which you can see the operation is successful. So let's create the function name as the welcome. Okay, welcome, and name that will be passing, and that name will be uname presented here. Check it out. What we have done, return redirect URL for welcome. So welcome is the function that we will be writing now. It will say welcome to me, my user particularly, and that name I am passing uname, which I am extracting from there. Okay, like that. So in this way I just have created a simple idea, simple example by which you can forward the request to the respective URL there by using the guest method. So that's done. Okay, if my method is equal to post, so extract the information and then go to welcome function, call it. Now I need to write a welcome function here. So let's write that function, app.route. Okay, welcome name is welcome. So let's write that welcome here, and let's have a name. So that name I will extract and pass there. Define welcome, use that name here, and return welcome %s, and %name will be there. Okay, that's it. Welcome %s, %name. So whatever name we pass. So remember how exactly it performs the operations here. We are going to make use of this particular method here, return redirect URL for. So when request is made, okay, it's showing error there. So, sorry, redirect, sorry, request. Yeah, it's also extracted. Fine. See what happens. app.root login. So when the method or get or post are used, it will get this information request.method is post. See, where I am getting this name from the login page, this is client side. Here the method is post. This information passed to the URL login. It will go here in login. Okay, to identify the method is post, and once the method is identified as post, then uname equal to request.form uname. So from the request, it will extract the uname. You can check it out. I have given this variable name uname here. Whatever you enter in the text box will be stored into this uname variable and will be forwarded to the server side in the dictionary, which will contain the similar variable name and their values also. So if you want to extract this information from the dictionary, I will be making use of request.form uname. Whatever name it contains, I am storing in variable uname here, and then I am redirecting the URL over there. Redirect URL for welcome. So this welcome will be passed. Whatever variable name contains, I am passing this uname over there. Okay, I am passing this, and then it will show welcome %name, like that. In this way, we are just creating the operation. So let's see. Let's run this code. HTML is already executing over there, but we need to run this particular code which is present over here. Fine. So let's run this. Yeah, it started now. Correct. Now check it out. So my code is already running. I'll just refresh it. I've given the name enter Tushar. Okay. Now see. Got this? See what happened actually. See, I just click on that. See, this is the HTML page. I'm passing the name. When I click OK, it has forwarded request to the server side by using the localhost :5000/welcome/Tushar. Okay, how it is exactly done? Check it again. I'll show you. So here login. I'll just open this particular page on client side. Client will enter the name. Will click on OK button. Whatever information is stored inside it is passed to uname. Okay, by using post method will pass to server side. Here we'll extract that. Here in login, we'll extract that information in post by using request.form. I am extracting that in uname, and then I am creating a URL for the welcome. slash name which I passed here, and is welcoming the respective person by this particular parameters here. This is how we can perform the operations. If I change the name again, see, I'll enter the Ajay. Okay, so see, it's welcome slash Ajay is created, and it's calling welcome Ajay. So accordingly, the username that you pass, we just can check this operation, we can perform it and do the things accordingly. Okay, like, and if it is not matching, if it is request is not having any method present inside it, then you can go to another URL also. Now let's write the else part of the if here. Now the data is not requested, not sent from the client to the server by using any of the method, not even get and post. Then what will happen? So let's write one more part here. Else means if it is not success, I am not sending information clearly, then what will happen? Okay, so let's create one more function that will send the failure information to me. So for example, the method name is failure. I will not passing anything. Failure, URL for failure will be generated, and let's create a function here which will be failure. Okay, so let's create failure. Okay, and the function name can also be failure. Okay, and let's say something not valid request. Okay, not a valid request when the data is not forwarded by using the get or post method. That time it will call a failure there. Right, for failure will be called not a valid request. Okay, so I have saved it, it's running in debugging mode, and check instead of post, or I'll not write anything. Don't write anything, don't write. Fine. So a request is not forwarded by any of the method, then what will happen? This method will become false, and it will call the failure function. So failure function is present here. It will show not a valid request, like that. Fine. So let's try that. Yeah. Now okay. Yeah, it's passing one parameter. Sorry, I don't require a parameter here because no parameter is passed here. That's why I don't require it. Okay. Now see, not a valid request. Failure is gone because information is passed, but none of the method is used over there. You can check no methods are present here. Nothing is present. But if you pass the method post, then what will happen? Let's check it. Refresh. Okay. Then it is welcoming the Ajay. So in this way, the success and failure pages we can load, or information we can send to the user. We can get the information from the HTML page, and accordingly we can pass to the respective page, and we can call it. And this way you can perform the operations. Even there is one more method called as request.args.get. Okay, so that also one of the method that we can make use of exactly in the same way from the see what exactly we'll do. See, here I am getting request.form. Instead of that, I can use request.args.get, and then that's a function actually. Here this is the dictionary. Okay, function can also be used. See, I'll just show you that method also, request.arguments.get. Okay, so whatever argument I am passing from that, what you have to extract, that I'll be using here. Request.args.get uname, and that uname I'll be passing here. Okay, so we can make use of. Okay, forget to value in the name. Okay, wait a minute, that's not getting passed over there. So what I need to do, okay, uname is extracted, post method. Yeah, that is fine, that's fine. So when you run the code, yeah. So this is how the HTTP methods, HTTP communication from the client to the server side is established in the Flask program. So when you have to create application which is having a dynamic communication between the server and between the server and the client, so we'll be making use of such kind of the methods to perform the operations here. Just try that. You can design your own form and transfer the data from the client side to the server side, perform the operation, and send the reply back to the user or the client. Thank you. Thanks a lot.